Hello, I'm Miss Wuestman, and I am a first and second grade teacher here at Trenton Elementary School. And I was going to share with you guys today some strategies for addition and subtraction. I picked counting on and drawing for addition, and then counting back and drawing for subtraction. And I picked these because these are ones that we can do no matter what we have. You don't need like a hundreds chart, you don't need counters, you don't need any kind of items. You can just have paper and pencil, fingers, and you can get it done. So we're going to start with counting on for addition. And I wrote this one, 3 plus 46. But as I tell the kids, you can always start with 46 and then add 3, because with the addition we can do it either way. It doesn't matter, you get the same result. So I wrote it this way so you can see, but obviously with your students you can reverse them. So we're going to do, instead of 3 and 46, we're going to do 46 and 3. And for counting on, we can just use our fingers. So we're adding 3 to 46. So I always tell them 46 is here in your head, it's in your mind. So you're going to go 47, 48, 49. And that's important because if they start by saying 46, then technically they're pretty much saying that when I add 1, it's still 46. So make sure, it's in your head, then it's 47, 48, 49. You can also, when you're counting on, if they're having a harder time with fingers, you could say, okay, I'm starting with 46, I'm adding 1, 2, 3. So you can kind of put it up here, draw it out. That helps sometimes. And you could just tell them count forward. So 47, 48, 49. That one's my answer. Okay. The next one, same thing, 75 and 8. You're adding 8, so you have your 8 fingers. Okay. You're starting with the 75. So 75's in your mind again. It's 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83. And you can, again, draw that one. It's still counting on. I mean, you can do it like that if you need to as well. And you do the same thing. It'd be the 75, and then you draw the 8 blanks. And they would just count forward. For actually drawing it out, okay, when you have the small numbers, like here, 3 plus 9, it is pretty simple to actually draw 3 and then to draw 9 and count them all together. This is something that my first graders really like to do. And that works fine for the smaller numbers. So when you count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You find your answer pretty simple. But for bigger numbers, because in first grade we are getting into bigger numbers and working with place value and adding multiples of 10 and even multiples of 10 with a few ones. So for bigger numbers like 46 and 13, you don't want to draw 46 circles and then 13 circles because that's a bit excessive. Like I said, we've been talking about place value, and they should be able to look at this number and tell you it has 4 10s and 6 1s. So they could draw that, and we've been making it real simple, just drawing tall lines for our 10s and circles for our 1s. Okay, so the 4 10s and the 6 1s. Okay, and then 13, 1 10, 3 1s. And just draw it out like that. And then they can count them all together. Now with this one, I could just count my 10s. I have 5 10s, and then I can count my 1s. I have 9 1s, and I could write that. They know that their 10s come first, and then their 1s come next. 59. But there are some, when they draw it out, that might not work quite right. It might be like if I was adding, for example, 16, I'd end up with 6 1s and 6 1s. That's 12 1s. And you couldn't do 5 10s and 12 1s, because that'd be 512. But we have been talking about that. And so we have also talked about, hey, If you look like you have a lot of ones, we need to make another group of 10. Or you could just count it all the way out, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59. And if, like I said, this was adding that bigger number, even though you had a lot more ones, when you keep counting, you'd still get the right answer. You know, you'd keep counting and you'd get up into 60 something. You wouldn't get 514. So that's another way you can do drawing. All right, so we talked about both ways as well in class. So hey, if you have a lot of ones, you might need to make a group of 10 and go from there. Or you could just count by tens and then start counting by ones, all of your ones, so that you can get that right answer. You don't get that big crazy number. So that's addition. Okay, subtraction, same concept. Okay, count on, obviously you're adding, you're going forward, your numbers are getting bigger. Counting back, you're just going down. Your numbers are getting smaller when you subtract. So if we have 9 and we subtract 3, again, I can just hold up what I'm subtracting like I was holding up what I was adding, and I can just go backwards instead. Okay, so I have 9, it's here. Before that is 8, 7, 6. Okay, so 6 would be my answer. If they needed to write it out, you could still do that. I have 9, I'm subtracting 1, 2, 3. Just remember you have to count backwards. 8, 7, 6. And this might help because they can see kind of the progression of the number. Same thing, even though it's bigger numbers, when you're subtracting something smaller than 10, you have the 10 fingers. It's real easy just to represent it with your fingers. 36, subtract 5. Okay, 36 is here, subtracting 5. So 35, 34, 33, 32, 31. And for some of our first graders, it's a little bit harder to count backwards, which is why I say you can always do it this way too. You're still counting back, but they can kind of see it a bit better. They don't have to think about it all in their minds. As far as drawing, 9 subtract 3, you draw what you're starting with, your 9. You subtract 3, get rid of them, and then you count what you have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but as always, as we get bigger in our numbers, it's harder to start by drawing 36 and marking all 5. So we can do kind of the same concept as with addition. They should know that 36 is 3 tens, 6 ones. Okay, and if we're subtracting 5, then all we have to do is get rid of 5 ones. We're left with 3 tens and 1 1, which is 31. Okay, if they need to, though, they can count it. 10, 20, 30, 31. I wanted to show you this one example, though, too, as well, because with the drawing, if you have a ton of ones, you can just keep counting by one and get it. But with the addition, with the subtraction, it's a little more complicated. You can't mark off what's not there. So what I've told the kids is you could draw what you have. Okay, and then obviously if I'm subtracting 7 and I only have 4 ones, it's not really going to work. So what I've told them is, you know that one of these 10 rods is 10 of those ones together. So what you could do, so you have enough ones to mark off, is you could take one of those 10 rods and you could draw it as the 10 ones instead. It's the same thing, okay? One 10 rod is worth 10 ones. It's the same exact thing, it just looks a little different. But we have talked about that as well in class. And so to subtract 7, I have enough ones now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I could clearly see my answer. I have 1 10 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ones. 1 10, 7 ones. I could count it though if I needed to. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17 is my answer. And that's just some addition and subtraction strategies that hopefully will help you and your student.